whether empleyado man tayo ng gobyerno or hindi, may maganda exercise na alam talaga natin kung ano yung financial standing natin, di po ba? So, in all of this, sana, lalo na malapit na po yung next election, sana yung SALN, mataas yung batayan natin for the SALN of everyone.
Sige, Carl, babalikan kita dyan. Samantalang, tignan natin ang briefing ng prosekusyon.
Properties worth 43.5 million pesos. So let's not forget, those properties are all in the name of Cristina and Constantino, or just in the name of Cristina. We've never disputed that. In fact, that is already our evidence. But what we have shown, if you look at that in consonance with the evidence presented by Commissioner Kim Henares, is that on the very same year, or on the very same, a year before binili ni Cristina, from Cristina ni Carla, ng anak nila Chief Justice, yung La Vista property for 18 million pesos, ang kinita niya lang or taxable income the previous year based on BIR is less than 10,000 pesos. So it's certainly, as far as we are concerned, it's all in line with the same theory that we have for McKinley Hill na nasa pangalan ni Charina, pero there are 27 monthly installments, reservation agreement, all signed by the Chief Justice and the wife. The payments, all the amortization payments are done through checks of the Chief Justice and his wife. In fact, that's how we uncovered BPI, because yung check payments ang ginagamit. At lumabas lang po yung trust agreement at saka yung handwritten note saying that this property is actually not ours. Pwede bang yung titulo i-issue nyo sa pangalan ng anak namin? Pare-parehong tanong pagdating dun sa 3 properties identified. 43.5 million. 10.5 million for that Cubao lot, 15 million for that Kalayaan, Quezon City property, and 18 million for La Vista. It is correct, yung Kalayaan ay may encumbrance na 12 million na utang sa BPI. Sabihin pa natin, ibawas natin yung 12 million na yon, pero ang inilabas nilang pera nung batang mag-asawa is 31.5 million, and yet their ITR cannot support this income. So in our minds, all the witnesses that they presented today, if they were intended to show that these properties do not belong to the Chief Justice, I don't think it has in any way shown that, because ang pinakita nilang ebidensya ay kahalintulad pa rin po ng aming ebidensyang ipinakita noon. Hindi nila ipinapakita yung capacity to purchase these properties. 43.5 million pesos in a span of 4.5 years, including the 18 million purchase by the daughter from the Chief Justice for 18 million pesos, when in the previous year, her declared taxable income was less than 10,000 pesos. So it really just brings more questions than answers.
Sirs, yung binabanggit ng defense kanina sa press ko nila, damaged good theory na raw ang tinatahak ngayon ng trial. Any reaction on that? Damaged good theory ang binabanggit nilang tinatahak na raw po ngayon.
Tingin ko hindi eh. Dahil una-una, balikan po natin. Totoo ba yung SALN o hindi? Totoo ba nanumpa si Chief Justice Corona sa isang di kompleto at makatotohanang SALN? Yun yung kailangan sagutin. Hindi damaged goods. Dahil kung sasabihin mo damaged goods theory, that presumes na si Chief Justice Corona did not do anything wrong. Ang tanong, bakit hindi niya dineklara ng tama ang kanyang cash in bank? Bakit hindi niya dineklara ng tama sa tamang taon yung mga ari-arian na binili po niya? So, bakit sasabihin na damaged goods? No, there's no presumption that he is going to be acquitted. Ang tingin namin, sapat yung ebidensya po namin para patunayan na guilty po si Chief Justice Corona. Of course, that will be appreciated by the senator judges, no? Pero sa amin palagay, wala nga po sa hindi pa hong natin alam yung laman ng dollar accounts po niya, pero kung titignan po natin lang yung statements of assets and liabilities for 2010, talagang obvious kulang. Kung titignan po natin on a per year basis, kasi ang I think what we are forgetting, this is a yearly test of his SALN from 2002 up to 2010. And if you take the yearly test of the SALN, yearly babagsak po si Chief Justice Corona.
Sagutin lang natin yung ilang kaso na na-cite po ng defense sa kanilang press con at na-cite na rin po sa loob ng korte. Yung case ni DPWH ASEC Plato, yan ay authority for saying na simple negligence lang daw yung hindi pagdedeklara. Ang nangyari po kasi, para malaman ho ng publiko, sa kaso ng Plato, ang nangyari po dyan, dineclare po ni Yusek Plato yung wife niya ay may business interests, pero hindi niya po nilista yung pangalan. May manukan pala sila, may babuyan pala sila, may sanglaan din, at meron ding laundromat o laundry business. So, hindi niya nilista po yun. So, ang sabi po ng Supreme Court, yun ay simple negligence lang. Bakit po simple negligence? Dahil nilista naman niya ho yung negosyo ng kanyang wife, pero hindi niya specify kung alin po yun. But it's also authority for the proposition na yung yung sinasabi kasi ng depensa, pwede mong i-correct eh. Sinabi ng Supreme Court dun sa kasong Plato, you cannot correct it if it refers to the substance. Pwede mo lang i-correct pagka timeliness ang pinag-uusapan. Yung issue ng timeliness. So pagka substance ang pinag-uusapan, pag may naumit ka, hindi nyo pwedeng i-correct ho yun. Yun ang importante because in the case of Chief Justice, klarong-klaro na hindi niya dineklara for many years po yun. At I'd like to cite 2 more cases po decided by the Supreme Court. Yung kaso po ng Office of the Ombudsman versus Racho, that's January 2011 case. Si Racho ay isang chief ng Special Investigation Division ng BIR. Meron siyang hindi idineklarang bank account ng 5.8 million. Ang depensa po niya ay hindi niya pera yon. Does that sound familiar? At gagamitin po sa isang negosyo ng kanyang mga kamag-anak. I'm sure that also sounds familiar. And yet, he was convicted of dishonesty dahil ang sinabi po ng Korte Suprema, yung hindi pagdedeklara ng bank account na yon na 5.8 million ay isang kaso ng dishonesty o pagsisinungaling. So he was inuphold po ng Supreme Court yung pagkakadismiss po sa kanya sa government service. Pangalawang kaso na gusto nating i-cite, yung kaso ng Flores versus Montemayor. Si Montemayor ay isang BIR employee din doon at nung meron siyang 2 sasakyan na hindi niya dineklara nung taong 2001. Isang Land Cruiser, isang Ford Expedition. And yet, dineklara niya po yon in the years 1999 and 2000. So, isang taon lang niya hindi na ideklara and yet tinanggal po siya sa serbisyo. Just for not declaring it for 1 year. Ano pa kaya yung kay Chief Justice? Kasi 5 years na niya hindi dineklara po yung Bonnie Ridge, yung columns, at for 1 year hindi niya dineklara yung Bellagio, if I'm not mistaken. Ano? So clearly, sabi nga ni Senator Santiago dati, we must cite cases that must be in point. So kung mas in point palagay namin yung sinasabi ng prosecution itong Flores at saka Racho kaysa sa case ni Plato. Because the case of Plato refers to his wife's businesses na hindi niya inilista. So, simple negligence lang po yun. Pero yung case of actual omissions, yung Plato is not a case of omission. Wala siyang, hindi yung kaso ng nakalimutan niyang isulat po yung kanyang business interests. Whereas, yung case po ng Racho at saka yung case na Flores versus Montemayor ay more similar to the case of the Chief Justice kung saan nag-omit po ng ilang mga ari-arian.
Napanood po natin ang bahagi ng press briefing na kasalukuyang isinasagawa ng prosecution panel. Kasama pa rin natin si Attorney Trixie at si Carl para i-discuss itong mga nangyayari sa impeachment trial. Pero bago yan, bumalik na tayo sa Senate Session Hall. Nagpapatuloy na po ang paglilitis.
Mr. President, may we continue with the presentation of evidence by the defense?
Proceed.
Yes, Your Honor. Before I call on the next counsel to present the witnesses, Your Honor, may we just be permitted to mark in evidence several Supreme Court resolutions bearing on access to SAL-Ns of justices and judges, Your Honor. These have been these documents have been pre-marked in the presence of counsel for the prosecution.
All right. Proceed.
As our Exhibit 182, Your Honor, this resolution of the Supreme Court in Bank dated May 2, 1989, on the request of Jose M. Alejandrino.
Mark, you are going to mark it, that's why.
As Exhibit 182, Your Honor.
Mark it accordingly. Prosecution? You have any objection?
None, Your Honor.
For the next Supreme Court resolution, Your Honor, we mark as Exhibit 183, and this refers to the resolution dated September 22, 1992, in AM number 92-9-851-RTC.
Mark it accordingly.
And as our next exhibit, Your Honor, is this resolution of the Supreme Court in Bank dated November 11, 1993, in AM number 92-9-851-RTC.
Mark it accordingly.
Thank you, Your Honor. We are now. May I now call on our next counsel, Your Honor, to present our next witnesses. May I request that Attorney Noel Lazaro be recognized?
Attorney Noel Lazaro is recognized, and he can propound the questions to the defense witnesses. What is your witness?
Thank you, Your Honor. Good afternoon, Your Honor, Mr. President, Mr. Presiding Officer, and the honorable members of this impeachment court. I am Attorney Noel B. Lazaro, Your Honor, a member of the defense panel of Mr. Chief Justice Renato C. Corona. I am tasked to present our next witness, Your Honor, in the person of Attorney Randy Rutacchio, Your Honor. He is the Randy A. Rutacchio. He is the Registrar of Deeds of Taguig City, Your Honor.
R-O-T-A-R-I-O?
R-U-T-A-Q-U-I-O, Your Honor.
Okay. Call the witness in and swear him to testify in this court.
We've sent for someone already, Your Honor, to fetch the witness.
All right. We will wait a few minutes.
May we ask for a couple of seconds, Your Honor? Please.
No need. We'll wait for him.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Please raise your right hand, Mr. Witness. Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth in this impeachment proceeding?
Yes, Madam.
So help you God.
Your Honor, please may we ask if the